And I have to ask you, since you do cover like finance for a living, like what do you think is going on with the stock market right now? Because like the unemployment rates are up, small businesses are closing down, but the stock market is like at an all time high, and like Apple is 2 trillion, Amazon's about to hit 2 trillion. Like what do you think is going on in the stock market?
I think there's a few possible explanations for this. One of which is always just maybe it's crazy. Maybe this is just the next bubble and there's no way to justify any of this and it's all going to come crashing down. Of course, that's a possibility. If there are some factors in which I think could try to justify where we are in the stock market, it's something like this. When we look at the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, we think that's like a very big diversified index. It has 500 companies in the S&P, which is true. But there's so much concentration among just a handful of companies that Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, just those five companies make up more than a quarter of the market. And those companies, those businesses are doing phenomenally right now because there's so much business. Like if you're Amazon, your sales are completely off the charts. Microsoft, Google, they're doing better than ever. And since they make up a disproportionate share of the stock market, that's where you get these things where Main Street businesses and even small public companies are struggling like never before, but the market's at an all-time high because the market is reflecting these five companies. So that's one of the things. The other is that, there's just a ridiculous amount of support from the Federal Reserve right now. They're just blasting trillions of dollars throughout the economy. And the explicit goal to doing that is to prop up asset prices. So it's not even like a side effect. It's like, no, this is what they're trying to do. This is like this is what they want to have happen. They want the stock market to go up so that people will be richer and they will go out and spend money. That's the purpose of it. So that's another point of it. The other thing is just like outside of the Federal Reserve, there's so much stimulus from the federal government in terms of enhanced unemployment checks that are now expired, but the stimulus package, the Paycheck Protection Program. We had this really weird thing where we have the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression, but incomes and spending is at an all-time high. Like it's this totally weird divergence. So if you think that spending, retail sales are the highest they've ever been this month. So like, is it that crazy that the stock market's at an all-time high? A lot of the money is shifted around, like travel and movie theaters are zero, but home improvement is off the charts. So it's just been shifted around a lot in a way that masks this dichotomy of so many businesses struggling, but so many businesses and the stock market thriving better than ever before.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a fascinating time and interesting time to see like what's going on and like the shift of money. And yeah, it kind of relates to what we talked about earlier about the tail ends, how just these, five tech companies are responsible for the majority of, the stock market highs. And yeah, it's just, incredible what's going
It's an
on.
incredible time. Yeah.